Hello, everyone. I am here with Chantal from a band, and I'm so terrible when it comes to my list, my ability to actually pronounce the name of the band, that I'd rather Chantal introduce that band to you.
It's called Vodun.
There we go, we're all good. My social pressure regarding saying that band is going to be there for some time, but Vodun, you said in your own words, it's like a metal music band that actually uses a link to your heritage in terms of rituals and whatnot. Do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so Vodun, we started the band about 7 years ago, and initially we were just talking about sort of general social issues, and then I figured it would be a great way for me to start to link to my ancestry and sort of more indigenous practices from West Africa. So we started to talk more about slavery, the different types of spiritual practices that came out of the slave trade, moving down to South America, all over Brooklyn, and social injustices, racism, privilege, and all these hot topics that are flashing around at the moment.
Indeed, and as of this moment, we are in a very strange situation regarding the BLM situation, combined with the eccentricities of what it means to live in lockdown. The reason why I wanted to talk to you and others that may or may not join us as this call continues is to find out more about your experience of how people have reacted online and offline in regards to George Floyd. What have been like the biggest things that come to your mind? What's the forefront of your mind regarding this incident?
The first thing that popped up was the volume of my white friends on my social media. I mainly operate with Facebook. The volume of them who had actually said something, spoke up about the injustice, were in support, complete support of Black Lives Matter, and actually reached out to me directly. I've never had that in my life with any of the killings of Black people at the hands of the American police or British police. I've never had that. That was refreshing to see. It felt like a positive social change. And the fact that it wasn't just messages, they actually wanted to do more. They were like, what else can I do? I will listen. I will try and do better. I won't be passive. I won't be nervous about saying anything. So that was the first thing that shocked me, because I'd actually unplugged because of the COVID crisis. Everything became a little bit sensitive, a bit too much of a bit of an echo chamber, and just dealing with COVID and the loss of all my job and my work and identity, pretty much. I was dealing with that, and then all of this kicked off, and I had to unplug for a little bit, and then I came back on, and that's the first thing that struck me.
Yeah. Do you feel that there's been an undue pressure for you to have all the answers, or have you welcomed the amount of attention that you've had?
Undue pressure? I realise that I've probably put myself in a position where people might look to me for for something to say. I realised that when it kicked off. So I haven't said anything via my band Vodun. It's just been on my personal page. Do I welcome it? No, not really. I don't feel we should have to do this. I don't feel we should be here.
Can I ask, you said that you put stuff on your personal page but not on your band page. You obviously see there's a reason to divide the two. Can I ask, would there be an exception to that? And if not, please tell us why.
I'm very emotional right now with it all. So I'd like it to be as clear and concise and as palatable. I want it to reach people as possible when I do. I want it to be succinct. I want it to be positive. I don't want it to be angry or completely reactionary and charged. So that's why.
Do you feel that, because I've heard from someone who may or may not enter the group, that they reckon that there should be less of us talking and more white voices talking about what they're going to do to instill change, rather than ask us what they need to do? How do you feel about those thoughts?
I feel that if someone says that you have done something wrong or you could do better, it's sensible to ask them how you can do better. I think that's a sensible question to ask, just in interpersonal relationships. So I think they should be asking that question, and I'm glad that they are. I know it gets a little bit exhausting to constantly have to say what people can do better, but you know, there are worse things to do with our time, I guess. Yeah, I'm glad that they're asking. This is the first time that people are actually asking and saying that they're going to listen and saying that they want to be more proactive.
Yeah. When it comes to your band, because I'm quite curious. I've only recently come across them via Paul from Joyzine. So hello, Paul. Thank you for helping me.
Hey, Paul.
With this. But yeah, I saw your band, Vodun. It's a mixed ethnicity band. What kind of audience do you have? I mean, is it a lot of black people, a few white, or a lot of white? Is it mixed?
Mainly, I was talking to my housemate. He's a white musician, and I was talking to him deeply about these, and he pretty much asked the same thing last night. And it's middle-aged white men that like heavy metal, and that hasn't changed. You know, sometimes we look out and there's a sea of black t-shirts and beards, you know, and that's the kind of music that draws that kind of demographic, I guess. But then you do, because we are a mixed ethnicity band and a mixed gender band, and you know, our drummer is gay, and so that then appeals to the fringes of other people. So we end up picking up quite a lot of people that are alternative, not just in music, but in lifestyle as well.
You must feel that you're in a very unique position. So I guess you talking about what you are passionate about at the moment has obviously, you know, been a toll. You want to make sure you get that message out correctly on your band page. That's completely understandable. The strange situation that we're now in is that even though I'm a mediator and moderator for this group because of what I have been through regarding the situation, it's pertinent that if you wished to ask me questions about my experience to gain any kind of insight, you are free to do so.
Is this going to change the way you write and possibly, broadly speaking, approach the problem?
Yes, in many ways. There's the Me Too movement that happened in the film industry and what we're going through now, just talking about music, because that's where our worlds are, right? I can't ignore what happened on supposedly Blackout Tuesday. Many musicians were very tokenistic about what they felt, or rather what they were trying to exhibit. And there were those who were quite impassioned. Bands that didn't even have black people in them were doing a lot more in terms of what they wanted to do, in terms of showing reading lists, kind of boycotting the day alongside me, because I thought even though the idea of the day had started by two black women, it had been co-opted by capital forces. You read my treatise on that. So I can't go forward as I have been. I have to account for what I haven't been doing, and for the many reasons that we can go into in another question, in another meeting, or in this one. I have a lot of ground to make up for. I think what you also said off camera or off record, it really does hit me. You said that ultimately every culture has got its particular benchmark for being a part of that group.
Every culture has, you know, as you said, benchmarks for being of that group. So how black are you? How Asian are you? How Russian are you? How whatever are you? And I think with ethnic minorities, you know, everyone wants to belong to a group, and this is what we use. But at the same time, I think a lot of that has been formed by the white norm, or white gaze, into our own cultures. And that can be quite toxic and not insidious. Insidious is the wrong word, but just quite toxic to the way we view ourselves as to how black we are, or how not we are, or whatever, you know.
Finding that identity sometimes in the public sphere can be quite a tiring exercise. I've had black friends that I haven't known for too long that have advised me to take breaks from what it is I'm doing. and also not to talk to people who are using the situation as a way of flexing their intellectual muscle. They won't be emotionally invested in it. So for them, it's just about proving a point and then walking away from whatever table or enclosure that we're in. And as much as some of them want to actually understand what's going on, if they haven't been motivated to do so by now via a book, rather than maybe one or two articles with questionable statistics, that speaks to what they're doing. But my recent understanding about this is that me walking away is also a way of not just protecting myself, but why I'm doing it. To try and arrogantly prove a point helps no one. I have more to say, and so do you, and it's saying 47 seconds. So this is the thing that we're going to do. Do you basically want to tell people they can find your band?
You can find our band on Facebook /Vodun Band. We don't really do so much Instagram stuff, but or Twitter, but Facebook is generally where I tend to hang out socially.
Fantastic. There'll be links to that. There's also a charity called the Black Curriculum that wants to get Black history into the school curriculum. And I'll put a link in the screen. We've got 9 seconds. I think we've done the right thing so far. I'll see you in the next room.
Okay.